This is Marissa Lenti, and you are about to watch a Dicejunkies gameplay video.
This is BloodX, and welcome to another Dicejunkies gameplay video. As always, we hope you enjoy.
It's Q here with the promised return video about the faith build. First and foremost, this is not easy to do as a pure faith. I will strongly advise people that if you want to have an easier time of it, especially since this game does have respec, allowing you to, if you're not as insanely stubborn as me, go back and redistribute your stats into pure faith. You probably want to grab yourself a strength faith build or a mind faith build or intelligence faith build to make life a little easier. Since for pure magic, it's really easier in the early game to do intelligence magic and then just respec later. But if you're like me and we never say die on Dicejunkies, you're going to push that pure faith build. And you can see here that I've only really put points in the arcane, faith, mind, and vigor. 1 point in the strength in order to wield my beloved mace that I've become quite fond of. Then we're going to show you how we get it done. But like I said, the biggest challenge is that the early incantations available to faith are not very good. They're extremely close range. And while they have their situations, there's a lot of places where they are completely unusable. You start off with Catch Flame, a close range explosion of fire. You can, on some enemies, run in close, and because of its low cost, spam the spell really fast to do a lot of damage. But compared to your weapon, it generally tends to do less damage, even with a high faith, than a decent weapon will. But it does tend to stagger lock base enemies, meaning quite a few enemies can get stagger locked with it. It goes through a lot of the ones that aren't resistant to fire's armor. So you can get on some of the guys, and if you can survive getting in close, you can pop off all 8 of these blasts without too much trouble. Though, of course, it does also hit your stamina. So you may have to let your stamina recharge in there, roll away, get back in. But it's pretty weak. The ability to heal yourself has a lot of function. The low cost means that this is better than your heal flask. It's much slower, but since it doesn't eat all your magic, it means that a magic flask will get you more healing than a healing flask, especially early game when your hit points are still low, because this will fully heal you, and if you have it with you, them as well. So this will allow you to fully heal up your health, and you start off with 80 FP as a profit. So it's got 2 heals in it versus 1 flask. But in combat, you're going to die. If you don't have something out to distract them, you're going to die like a dog. So this is mainly for in between. Keeping 1 or 2 flasks. I have 7 flasks, and I keep 2 healing flasks, which I'm about to change to 6 to 1, because I'm getting a little bit better at not needing to heal in the middle of combat or distracting enemies and getting a chance to heal. Like if you knock an enemy down, that's a pretty good chance to heal, though knockdowns are not easily acquired in this game with magic, at least not with faith magic. There are faith spells that do knock down, but still risky. The key to building a faith build is going to be to get the Sacred Blade Ashes of War ability and to get yourself something that's actually going to kill people. With the best ones being currently loaded up, Bestial Sling is another close range spell, but it completely spits in the face of this spell. There are a lot of enemies that are fire resistant, so Catch Flame has a problem. Catch Flame doesn't tend to knock poise down and make enemies go into a vulnerable state. Bestial Sling is a physical hitting move. It can actually knock enemies off poise like a combo does. It has a spread that allows it to hit multiple enemies, and it has a better range. It's also disturbingly good at killing dragons from horseback. We'll tell you how to do that. So this has got from getting, I believe you need to do at least 2 Deathroots, a special item acquired in the game to get your Bestial spells. It's the same guy that'll eventually give you the best spell in the game for faith, the Bestial Claw, at least the best so far. I have found that there is an item called the Godslayer rune, and apparently it enhances Godslayer spells. So I am currently of the suspicion that there exists another tier of faith spells, because it's a faith casting item, called Godslayer spells that may be the next tier, but nobody seems to have any. Nobody seems to have the Godslayer rune. It seems to have been referenced. Probably people peeked through the files to find out its existence. But it's the other reason that we're going pure faith. But when it comes down to it, the second you can get Bestial Sling, the better your life will be. And then the next thing is Dragonfire, a very effective spell and acquirable once you get Bestial Sling, because you can kill your first dragon. Now, we're going to sit up here and we're going to pull up the map first. And there is a special method to acquiring the Bestial, to getting Sacred Blade. And the cool part is, it's a part of everything you're doing as a faith build. Many guides you see, and I'm not going to run through the whole thing because they're out there, and we don't try to sit up there and do things that people have covered pretty well. Have the Third Church of Marika as one of the places you go. It has items in there to give you your mix flask. It's got, I think, a seed near it. It's a very important early game location, and you can get here as soon as you get your horse. How to get your horse, again, covered in better guides, but basically you go to, let's see, I believe that's the spot. If you go straight up north from when you leave the main dungeon and the Church of Ella, you can head up here, and there are several save points, and the Agrial Lake North usually is where you'll be approached by an NPC that will give you your horse. Once you have your horse, one of the great things about Dark Souls and is that, barring, of course, if you're trying to get Beast Claw, you normally can get everything as an infield item. That's a term I use that refers to items that are sitting on the map and do not require a boss fight, a dialogue, or a quest again. And once you get your horse, you can grab a lot of good infield items. Unfortunately, not many of them that helpful for faith. There's insanely powerful infield items for magic builds, which is why I said, and strength builds. You can get some of the best melee weapons, heavy armor, and really powerful staves and spells. That's not going to happen with faith. Nothing on the map that for faith is worth grabbing. Your best stuff is going to require work. Faith is literally defined as kind of living up to its name of you're going to have to put the hard work and faith in to get it. Once you get your horse, you can ride your horse to the Third Church. This has a great benefit in that the Third Church has right above it one of the little dung beetles that'll be rolling a ball. You'll see them. Actually, when you go to Agrial Lake, you'll see one. There'll be these glowing balls that you can kill to refill your flask. Well, they also drop Ashes of War. And right up here, you will see one. Let me see if I can show you what one of them looks like. The ones that drop the Ashes of War don't look like they come back, but the ones that refill your flask do. So I'll go ahead and show you the spot. We're going to run over here real quick and show you Agrial Lake. This is where, like I said, you'll get approached by an NPC that will give you your Spectral Steed, which at that point you can go almost anywhere on the map without having to kill a boss. It is right here. You can see there's a little caravan there. And usually, I'm going to grab a steed. You can find one of the glowing dung beetle like enemies rolling up the mystic right up here. So I'll show you what one looks like so you know what you're looking for. Let's see. I think it's up here near this campsite. Hopefully it's not only at nighttime. I know I've seen it at night. I've seen one in this area. Uh-oh, that may be a nighttime thing. But the enemy rolls a little ball of energy that glows. It's a very visually catching enemy. Not exactly hard to see. We've unfortunately aggroed somebody, so we can't teleport again because I was going to show you the Third Church once homeboy chills out. There we go. But you're going to ride up to the Third Church here, and this fulfills two prerequisites. One, it gets you several items that boost your flask. Two, you could go up there and get Sacred Blade. Why is Sacred Blade a big deal? Well, we'll show you right after we just run here, and you're going to see why Sacred Blade is so important, especially for a pure faith build, but even more powerful in the hands of a hybrid faith build. And I'm trying to see if I can find one of the beetles, but we'll see if we can show you also the second part of the big faith necessities. But this is the church. You see the statue. There'll be items here. There's an item here. I think it's either a sacred tier or, I think a sacred tier there, and then an item to build a mixed flask, a special item that, once again, is covered in others. It's an extra item that can be used to do some more healing and to buff yourself. like a one-shot flask, not a one-shot, a refillable flask that offers you upgrades and buffs. But the main thing about the church is this. As you can see, I went above the church, and after you killed the beetle and gotten sacred flow, there's a teleporter here. That teleporter right there will teleport you all the way up here to the Bestial Sanctum, which I'm kind of scared to teleport to because I've given several Deathroots to this guy, so now he's hostile, and I have no idea how to beat him. He is so frigging beyond anything I could ever hope to pull off beating at this point in the game. But around the corner is a very large, angry guy who isn't angry if you haven't done the things I've done. We're going to go get the hell out of here. And he wants Deathroot. Deathroot, if you give them to him, will allow him to give you the emblems for the faith casting and give you Beast Priest faith spells. So, when you get the ability to teleport here, you're now going to want to hunt Deathroots. And Deathroots are acquired by either killing the Boatman. The Boatman is a special enemy located in certain locations. The Summon Water Village right here, which you notice is not that far from the church. I don't know if you can climb up this hill to get to it from there. I think I just went around here and got to it. But you also see that there is literally a safe spot out here. You'll meet an NPC, tells you about the dangers. You go to Summon Water Village, there'll be a Boatman. He looks basically as Chiron. He's got a horn, he's a spectral enemy, and he's not actually that hard to kill. You can use summons, which using Summon Wolf that you can get from your Sanctum is a pretty solid way to get a hold of him. It seems that if you grab enough of these flame spots, I don't know if it's a particular one or if it's grabbing enough of them, you'll eventually get approached and offered to go to the hub of the Tainted. And that place is where you can buy some more faith spells, which won't accomplish, where you can get your flame toss. I did forget to bring that up. That spell's got its uses, so I guess we'll cover that here. But you go kill this guy and you'll get a Deathroot. He's not as hard to beat as you think. In fact, cast Sacred Blade on your weapon. When you first went up to him, he'll teleport away and start summoning undead, but your wolves are pretty good at keeping them busy and they're slow. And you just wail on him, dodge roll away when it looks like he's about to counterattack, keep wailing on him. You can throw the fireball spell at him that I'm about to pull up here. And it's a spell you can buy from the hub that isn't too bad. It's very situational, but it's also very useful. Flame Sling in that situation. Terrible against humanoid opponents, especially those that can dodge roll. They'll dodge it every time. Great against slow-moving, large targets. But you kill him, you'll get a Deathroot. Your first Deathroot, which will get you a piece of equipment. You'll get another sacred seal, the Clawmark seal, which is scales with strength and faith. But honestly, and boost bestial incantations. The only real use for having this is that when you're fighting from horseback, in order to cast a spell, you actually have to have the sacred emblem in your main hand. So, well, an interesting little synergy I've found that no one's been talking about is that if you have your sacred emblem in your main hand and you have the beast emblem in your other hand, the beast emblem's boost to beast spells works. You will do more damage. So your sling will actually do more damage when you have the main seal in your right hand, the high tier one that you get as a prophet and a confessor at base, and then the beast emblem in your other hand. And since you're only using the secondary effect, you don't even need to enhance it. You saw mine had been enhanced a few times. That was to see if it made a difference. It did not appear to, only when using it to cast, and I was using my right hand, the finger seal in that case, because I was on horseback to cast. But it'll give you a little bit more. And the reason that you're trying to do that is because you need to get a sacred emblem, which there is another Chiron somewhere on the map over here. You can get to like 2 of the Chirons. I don't remember his exact location, but that's because there's an easier way to get another second seal. And the first 2 are the ones that matter early on. And that is to come to the Death Touch Catacombs. In the Death Touch Catacombs, there is an assassin. It's a very tough enemy. But the good news is that the Deathroot is in a chest in his room, and thus you can run in there and just grab the dang thing. I don't think you have to kill him to get it. I could be wrong. I think I did kill him, but I believe it's possible to just snatch it. And I wasn't particularly high level when I killed him. He's another enemy that's manageable. I believe you're able to use your summons or you get an ally when you go in there. Some of the assassins you get like to call an ally to help. Some of them you get to use your summons. If you can stay alive long enough for him to aggro your summons, you can just start working him over by throwing fireball spells at him. That's where Flame Sling's useful, when you can catch him, or doing jumping attacks with your Sacred Blade. The reason Sacred Blade is possibly the most powerful enhancement for a Faith build is because it actually has two effects. The main effect I'm about to show you is that it shoots a beam of energy. But if you're paying attention, note my weapon. It has also turned my weapon into pure Sacred Holy damage. This actually causes it to do a lot more damage on a pure Faith build, hit a lot harder. Also, when fighting skeletons, skeletons will resurrect. Well, that blast as a pure holy attack will kill skeletons permanently. But more importantly, you don't even matter if you hit, you get several seconds of this buff, which will allow you to kill them with your weapon as well. So one casting can allow you to clear a whole room of skeletons, and it's a melee buff for a Faith build, causing you to do more damage, which is why that spell's a big part of cast that spell at an enemy, then run up and wail on them with your pure holy damage weapon, deal great damage, kick a lot of butt. So Sacred Blade is very integral. The enemy you got to kill is not even an enemy. It's literally a little bug. You can jump on your horse, run and hit it several times, and it dies. You've just gotten one of the greatest Ashes of War. Ashes of War do not require anything to use. You can literally, like, especially once you get to the base, get the invitation to the base, there's guides out there to get you there faster without having to fight a single thing. The guy will put it on your weapon for free. It'll immediately make your weapon a Faith scaling weapon. As you see here, it's a Strength E, Dex E, Faith D. Before that, it was Strength D, Dex D. But now it's D Faith, which means it adds my Faith to the damage. I like the Morning Star, but you can put it on your sword. I originally had it on this blade before I started playing around with the Blood blade. So you can literally put it on your long sword. You can put it on your spear. It'll go on to any melee weapon and immediately start allowing you to add your Faith to damage. As you see, I'm getting very little physical buff because my strength and dex are trash, but I'm getting a 46 point damage on Holy. And with the two groups, the damage tends to be very high. Here, I'll show you on the base weapon, actually. We'll give you an idea how this will massively boost the damage of a melee weapon. I have a couple of unenhanced weapons, and I have the item. There's an item that allows you to put your own Ashes of War on. So let's see. Let's go into our inventory. Let's find a base short sword. For my weak butt, it only does 102 damage plus 11 for a total of 113, right? Now, if I were to put down, let's see, Ashes of War, it doesn't even matter. Like, if I were to put Sacred Blade on this weapon would turn to a 72 physical plus 1 for 73, but then a 72 holy plus 21. So, massive damage buff. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and do the math. I'm an old man, but about 160 and 170 significant damage buff is acquired just for putting this on. So you go from being like poor at doing melee damage to competing with the melee characters, and a lot of it's holy, which most enemies are not resistant to. So there you go. It suddenly becomes a weapon that does good melee damage. It has that blast you can do, which is not that expensive, 19, and then it gives you a damage buff to do even more damage. Other holy effects do the same thing as far as damage-wise, but even this one, Golden Vow, which gives you a defense and damage buff when you cast it, I've tried it. It doesn't seem to do more damage than going to pure holy. It lasts longer, but the defense buff wasn't that impressive. Enemies that one-shot me still one-shot me, but then I'm also probably in places I ain't supposed to be. And the damage buff did not seem to match up to going pure holy, making Sacred Blade the winner. Plus, I had to kill somebody to get Sacred Vow. That was a pretty reasonably challenging fight, whereas there's no challenge to get Sacred Blade. It's just the ultimate in any Faith build that you're going to get your hands on. Plus, it's so good for killing undead that you probably want to get it and carry it around on a blunt weapon for any character just because the skeletons are annoying to kill. And I don't know if other pure magic attacks kill them, but I know Sacred Blade works, and if you're a melee character, having that on a backup weapon, casting it real quick, beating all the undead to death, probably easier to go. But once you get that second Deathroot, you will get Bestial Sling. Bestial Sling, we're about to show you. Let's see. Does a, like I said, actually has a better range and throws out a fling of rocks. What's interesting is it doesn't really seem to matter how many rocks hit as long as a few hit. Hitting a bunch of them doesn't seem to be a massive deal, but hitting multiple of them does make sure that the damage is pretty solid. But the main thing is it's got a better range. It hits out to a reasonable distance, and it actually can knock poise off. We'll try to show you real quick. The main thing is that from horseback, it's incredibly deadly on dragons because you ride up under the dragon with your horse, stop, and then start spamming the spell off under their chin, getting a bunch of headshots. I have killed 2 dragons, and not my level you see, that's not my level I was when I killed the dragons. This is my level after I've been level grinding. I originally was as low as 20, and at one point, the first dragon, I think I was in the team. And then at 20-something, I killed the second dragon, which I'll point out where he was at in a sec, with my spell. So, literally, this spell allowed me to kill dragons. I got some of the wolves to kind of distract them, but I could ride up under the dragon, cast the spell, ride off before he hits me, because most of the dragons can one-shot me, and or were before I leveled up some, and then drink a magic flash and go do it. If you manage to knock the dragon down, and yes, again, Bestial Sling does poise damage, so it will actually knock them down. You jump off your horse, switch to your melee weapon, get that big hit in the eyeball, jump back on your horse, continue. I don't know if it's easier even for mages to kill dragons, but I know it was really easy to kill dragons with Bestial Sling, which is important to get the next spell. But let's give you a Bestial Sling example. This is a very, very high level enemy. By the way, where I'm at, pretty simple. I'm right below it. I took my horse. I rode down. I mean, you can probably see I think that's where the Bestial Temple is right there. Ride your horse to this sacred location. These are the best farming enemies in the game. They're worth 1,000 souls. To give you an idea of how high that is, most enemies give 100 or less, and the giants give 1,000. So these guys pay out like the giants. The reason why? They know the most powerful spell in the game. They actually know the Beast Claw spell. Oh crap, he's doing it. Yeah, he was trying to do it then. It would have one-shot me. But watch this. Just spam this, spam this, spam this. Position broken, execute. Bestial Sling can literally works like other attacks. It'll knock their poise off, and 1,000 and something souls. So, and they do have okay gear. That's not bad upgrade to grab their gear and put it on since your starting profit gear sucks. Then you can literally walk back over here, save or spin, and continue. There's more, but the further you go out, then if you die, the harder it is to get your souls back. Whereas if you die up here, when you respawn there, you can run and grab your souls. Even if the guy aggro's on you, you can at least run and grab your souls so that if he kills you again, you don't lose your souls. So you can farm very easy here. Once you manage to get this, you can go to the lake, and there's a dragon here. Now, the original method to get the dragon was you had to hang out in some ruins, but now there's a bonfire in this location. Let's see if we can get close enough to show it to you. Shouldn't be hard to get there from the tunnels. But there's a bonfire, and when you approach the bonfire, the dragon swoops down and kills. Sorry I don't have video, but I was trying to find what worked, and this game does not give you manual saves. So, I don't have footage, but that's fine. I actually don't want to spoil it for you. I'm telling you where you could do stuff, but this is Dark Souls, man. The fun is in going through a lot of this stuff, personally. That was a bad teleport. This was a bad teleport because you got to go up a thing to get there. We'll try going there, and I'll show you the bonfire, because I think the bonfire is still there. And when you walk toward it, the dragon will make an appearance, an impressive entrance. Very easy kill. I was stunned by how easy it was to kill with Bestial Sling. I myself was like, holy crap, I've been scared of this dragon. I could have killed this dragon a long time ago. Because I was panicking. There are times I was very distraught by how difficult my face build was. Alright, see those giants? The giants are no joke. Though again, Bestial Sling can stun them and works on them pretty well. Just really, this spell is against big targets. You can do it, and with your horse, it's so abusable because you can very easily ride up and go sling, then ride away. Then sling, 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 then ride away. It's dirty, but Bestial Sling is a very good horseback spell, combined with the one that I'm trying to show you how to get, which is Dragonflame. Because you need to kill your dragon. This is the easiest dragon to kill. You can do this. If you have Bestial Sling, you can almost kill this dragon with just a few points in faith. You can kill this dragon almost with starting stats. But I was over here and I couldn't get the dragon to appear. And at one point, near the ruins, I rode toward a bonfire. And it turns out that's the new spawn. And I was shocked that nobody seemed to know this. None of the guides had mentioned a new way to get it. This is it. All right, so looking on the map, there was a bonfire here that the dragon very rudely interrupted in a beautiful fashion. And then I whooped his tail and got his heart. Once you get the dragon heart, you need to go to this island. The secret to getting this island is this cave. There's a cave here that you can literally go back to the Church of Ella, ride down the beach. There's ledges you can get down to get there, or you can go this way and move your way down. Go in this cave, and at the end of the cave, you will be able to teleport over to here. If my memory serves, I think it's a teleporter. All I know is you finish the cave, you'll come out. Like, you go in the cave, do the whole cave. There's lots of smithing stones in here. The enemies can drop smithing stones, I believe, but I know there's smithing stones in this cave, which is good for upgrades. Then you'll come out on the island. You go over to the island, you pick Dragon Breath. The reason you pick Dragon Breath is Dragon Breath is powerful from horseback, powerful from long range, and devastating when your enemies are distracted by your summons or by an ally that's helping you. The thing about Dragonflame we're going to show you is all things to do, but real quick, the other dragon is here. I would suggest you go in this cave to grab the spot, the save spot, and then you can run out and fight this dragon. You'll need to be a bit higher level. That dragon is tougher, but I literally beat him the same way. Beast fling, beast fling, beast fling from horseback, jump off horseback, stab him in the eyeball because he's pumped, and then, continue. That's where I got Beast Claw, which I'll show to you. It's not Dragonflame, but it has its uses. It's in the right situation, it's actually better because you can get it off several times and it hits really hard. But the slow windup means enemies can kill you when you're getting to it. But let's show you your other big spell to help early game that you can get disturbingly early without killing a single boss, and that is Dragonflame. This is Dragonflame. Again, you got to put it in your main hand to cast it from the horseback. But when you do it, you will summon a dragon head and you will spew fire. Now you notice that my magic is still going down. That's because you can hold down the button to keep spraying fire. It does more damage and goes further. It has a very good range, so you can do it from outside of enemy reach. It'll hit everything in the area. By the way, that dragon's another story. That dragon is so high level, he has spanked my cheeks every time I went over there. I've managed to knock him down and get some hits in, but because of the battle being on a bridge, he tends to burn the whole bridge, and he is an absolute one-shot kill. So that's went poorly. But you can literally pile yourself up with Estus flags in a boss fight in most of the dungeons. Go through, summon something, run around till the summons get the aggro, and then sit back and spew fire. And then drink your flask, and then spew full fire. Drink your flask, and then spew full fire. The reason I told you where the second dragon is because once you kill that second dragon, you can get Dragon Claw. And the reason I'm saying in order, because you will need Arcane to cast Dragonflame. So I had to boost my Arcane, I think, to 11 or 12 to cast that one. Maybe we can get it to show us right here. You can tell we wing these, man. Like I said, let's see. Dragonflame requires a Arcane of 12. So you're going to want to toss a few levels into Arcane. And then later on, you only need one more for Dragon Claw, but you need a lot more for Dragon Maw, the other one. I don't know how good that one is. That's my next goal. But unfortunately, I found a dragon other than this one. But he apparently is just a release. He doesn't always drop a heart, unfortunately. So I think you got to kill Big Boy to get the third dragon heart, unfortunately. And the one on the bridge in front of me this is a high-ass level zone. I mean, 1,000, you won't see that anywhere else almost. 1,000 souls per kill. which, like I said, they have incredibly powerful attacks. They will one-shot you easy. They have Beast Claw, the most powerful face spell in the game. So that might be why they have that payout. But once you get the second one, Dragon Claw is interesting. Now, you're probably about to watch me die because, again, I'm testing this where I shouldn't be. These enemies can tank Dragon Claw because they're that powerful. Like, they have thousands of hit points, or at least well over 1,000 hit points. But Dragon Claw, once you get it, is an incredible group attack spell. Especially if the enemies don't have wide area attacks or are distracted by your summon, you can run in. And at my current level of mind, I'm capable of casting this twice. And it hits and knocks down, and the blast radius is massive. This is a spell. Look at that. I wasn't even that close. He got hit by the shockwave. But notice there's a wind up, and look how much damage I took while I was doing it. Like, you know, he got his hit in, you know what I mean? But this enemy was nearly two-shot, and if I'd have been closer with the first hit, he would have been if he had got hit by the claw. Now, the good news is that you're surprisingly tanky and hard to interrupt while you're doing it. So only a really solid hit or multiple hits will interrupt the casting, but the area effect will, in a normal part of the map, devastate the enemies, often killing the whole group. And because you can get two castings out and it hits so hard, it does more damage overall than Dragonflame to a degree. Dragonflame does have weird sweet spots that occasionally happen, where I've been fighting enemies that kill me over and over, and they'll charge at me. And I think the sweet spot is like, don't stick your face in the damn dragon's mouth. I've killed so many enemies on luck that were killing me because they ran up on Dragonflame and apparently stuck their face. And apparently it can do location damage because the damage would ramp up insanely and then the enemy would just drop. And I mean, this has been Black Flame Assassins, like the tier 2 Black Flame Assassin later on, that like got just destroyed for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. But Dragon Claw is very dependable. Its huge radius means it'll hit a lot of those enemies that try to dodge roll. So it's good against humanoids if you can get them off of you, like get them distracted or catch them when they're recovering. And it hits really hard. So it's a nice follow-up. I'm assuming Dragon Maw with the highest requirements is also really dangerous. And hopefully single target for single target damage, since both the other spells are big area effects. But I'm looking forward to it, and we will come back as soon as we get it to let you know. But like I said, these things are easy to do early on. Because you can get Sacred Blade, like ride your horse, go get it, put it on your weapon, you're good to go. Like, it's so good, I've been planning to dupe it. I've been looking for the requirement to dupe. The second I get an item for duping, because you can take Acid Ward on and off at will, but only one per weapon. So you can't have it on multiple weapons. I'm going to dupe it and put on multiple because that's how good it is. It's just the best ashes for me until maybe I get this one that makes you temporarily invulnerable that I've been trying to find. That's supposed to be, again, over in this lake area where the dragon is, like somewhere around, I think here or so. It's supposed to be another valve that gives you temporary invulnerability. I'm thinking that could be helpful with some of the really tough invasion fights, where if I could get invulnerable, I could get in close to maybe wail on an enemy or start slamming them with a Dragon Claw. The Dragon Claw is so powerful, I don't need that long of invulnerability. If I could get even 3 or 4 seconds just to guarantee the first casting, Dragon Claw almost knocks down everything in the game. That isn't like maybe super gigantic. I haven't tested it there, meaning that I could probably use it, spam it on humanoid enemies, and just destroy them. But getting the first off is the thing. So putting a weapon with that vow on it, then running in and slamming with the claw may be a overpowered combo. We'll come back and show you once we get it. I'm going to go hunt it once we finish this vid and see how it works. But that's your best things, honestly. And like I said, you see I'm literally wearing, these are the items from the freaking guy that you just saw me killing. And there's the glove, which is not better than the glove I have. But you got to watch your weight. You don't want to be fat rolling from having too heavy an equipment on. There's other videos for good starting equipment, but for Faith, Sacred Blade is a vital. There's an item that adds more faith that's gotten in the upper area of the map. But again, we're talking about the stuff that just my guide to be making this build not make you suffer. Beast Fling works on a lot of enemy types for spamming. And like I said, its ability to knock them down means throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. Enemies that can have their poise broken can then be vulnerable to getting hit. Super effective. Your best Sacred Seal is your first one. But if you're going to be doing horseback beast fling versus dragon, throw the beast seal on your other slot so that you can get the extra damage. And you can kill dragons. Like, surprisingly enough, this build does slaughter dragons. And both the Deathroot battles are not impossible to do. Like I said, I think you can steal the Deathroot from the assassin, but I could be wrong. I don't know if you have to kill him to grab it. And then, like, there's more Deathroots. I'm going to tell you what another one is. If you want another battle, if the assassin's too much, there is a battle. This is a high-level area, but depending on your way you play, this may be easier. There's a battle, I believe, in this. No, that ain't it. Or is it? No, maybe that is it. I believe, yeah, this tunnel has. No, there it is. There's another Black Knife Catacombs here. There's a secret battle with a Black Knife, but the boss battle is with a very frustrating enemy with a lot of guys in there. But again, your playstyle says you might be able to get through it easy. But that's where one other Blackroot is. And like I said, there's another Boatman somewhere in this map. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But I mean, you can look up a guide for the Boatman. But honestly, until you're trying to get the last one, the Beast Shout sucks. I didn't get anything worthwhile from the other routes. And if you give him the fourth route, he kicks your dang butt. So I wasn't really impressed. The healing ability he gives for a third Deathroot isn't bad. So you could go out there and try to get the third one. The second Boatman fight was pretty easy. But if you give him the fourth Deathroot, he starts kicking your butt. You know what? Let's give you something a little entertaining. Y'all like to see me get my comeuppance. You watch how I do nothing to him whatsoever. Nothing I summon or call will literally even matter. But he is going to destroy me. I'm going to summon one of the most powerful summons in the game I managed to unlock. It's a special summon. I've leveled him up. That doesn't matter. That literally doesn't matter at all. We're going to restore our magic. We're going to get our Dragonflame. And now we're going to die. And I'm dead. Now you may be thinking, now notice that did no damage there. Like his health didn't even move for the Dragonflame. I honestly have no idea how you're supposed to beat him. I don't even have the fifth Deathroot because it's kind of quest locked. Again, a rare thing from software. I was rather disappointed. You can't get to the part of the map, or at least I have not found a way to get there. It seems that you need to. Hell, I'll show you. It seems like you need to beat the Academy, which is literally one of the main story locations, and go here, I'm guessing, because the other one is up in this area. Like the other guy, the third Boatman is up around here, he's somewhere in this upper area. You can't get past this. Like, there's no way up I found in this area yet. But again, I haven't actually. Well, you know what? I haven't tried going through the water. Dang it! All right, From Software, I may owe you an apology. I tried to do it through the land, and this is all mountains and won't really let you by. But now I'm looking like an idiot because I just said, I didn't try riding the beach and going that way. So maybe there is a way there. I don't know what'll happen because I think you have to beat him before you can give him the fifth Deathroot. And like I said, I have no idea how to beat this guy. He's so powerful. You didn't see his full thing. I fought him for real, and I've never moved his health in a negligible way with nothing in my repertoire. I don't know what he's vulnerable to, but I'm literally terrified of the guy because he's a guaranteed one-shot on my build. He uses Beast Claw and a variety of high-tier attacks, and I quite literally can't seem to calm him down at all. So I don't know if I'll have Beast Claw anytime soon. But I may go now, and you know what? We may go for that and see if we can get there. But nothing seems to faze him. He'll smash all those pillars and come at you. Like, I do not know what's the trick to killing them. So we'll have to see. I'll probably get the Godslayer incantations before I find that. The secret Godslayer incantations I think are in the game. There's a weird seal out there called the Godslayer seal that people have found or at least mentioned to exist that refers to Godslayer incantations. So I think there may be another tier. If we find out about it, we'll obviously let you know. But I probably won't go through the main campaign until I've reached a really high level. I've always liked to grind up. Then anyway, to start off your faith build, go up there, get your horse, go to the temple, get your sacred blade, teleport to the beast temple so it's on your map, kill him, kill the boatman, get your first Deathroot, go up there, get your beast seal, kill the black assassin or steal the Deathroot from here, get beast fling. Now you got your main attack spell to spam. Use it to kill big enemies. I've killed giants with it. Go here, go there, kill your dragon, go through the tunnel, get Dragonflame. You've now got Dragonflame, you're good to go. When you decide you want more, you've leveled up, you've used my spot I showed you to kill that guy. Go here, save, kill second dragon, get Dragon Claw. You've got basically everything useful to have for me. I think that the 2-finger medallion that gives faith, I think, is in this area. But it may have been over here, because this is like a high-level zone. This is all of this over here is a no F around. Apparently, you're supposed to come back later, I guess, because this place ain't joking. And there you go. And you can use Dragonflame to kill nearly anybody with luck. Like, there will be times, like I said, that you'll get the right distance. The enemy will walk towards you slowly, and you'll just pound them with Dragonflame. And then sometimes you'll be doing Dragonflame, you'll be low in health, you'll be desperate, and the enemy will charge and sweet spot itself, and it'll just die instantly. I mean, I don't know what the hell the secret is, but there is definitely some kind of critical zone for Dragonflame where it is absolutely nothing in the game wants a piece of it. I've killed these challenging fights here where you go to Evergold. I had to fight one-on-one. All these fights were, after 3 or 4 tries, I got a sweet spot with Dragonflame, and the guy just dropped. And I was like, thank you for putting your face directly where it needed to be. So Dragonflame is your heavy lifter, but it ain't gonna do anything to the dragons. Like, you use Beast Fling for dragons from horseback. You can use Dragonflame from horseback. I guess I'll give you a... Let me get the heck out of here from this monster. And that thing is the guard up. Oh crap. He's mad. Don't think he won't kill you through this wall. Beast Claws goes through walls. So he will. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Can you fight him outside the door? No, Beast Claws go through walls. If you try to fight him through the door, he will eventually just Beast Claw, and it comes out so insanely fast, it's your ass. All right, let's give you a quick demonstration of the horseback version. We'll just use the other item. And let's see. You can't use the Beat Dragon Claw because of the jumping animation, but you can literally, and you can move while doing it from horseback, so you can literally run around and charge it up. A good trick is to get some distance from the enemy, charge it up, then suddenly turn back and breathe a full blast of fire at them while advancing. It's an incredibly effective from horseback spell. Absolutely magnificent. So, like I said, this spell will be a heavy lifter for a while, and will be what you use to kill most of your enemies, especially when you can get yourself a summons and get them distracted. Absolutely golden. That's how you get through a pure faith build early on. Maybe people will come up with something better later on, but the key part is that you can get, once you get Beast Fling, killing the dragon's easy, and you can get your powerful spells going. If Dragon Ball turns out to be really good, then this build may alter to grabbing it first. As much as I like Dragonflame, I really want a high single target spell, but the arcane requirement's no joke. We'll see once I manage to kill another dragon. But there you go. So that's how you run Pure Faith. Like I said, if you want to find good items, how to get your flask, they're out there, man. You know, we're not trying to sit up here and just throw out everything. We're just showing you the way we do it. Zeno has decided, if you watched our recent videos, he's going to get Elix 2. So you may see my mage build, but honestly, there's not much to say. There's literally a location you can ride your horse to get the most powerful, or one of the most powerful stabs in the game, and then one of the most powerful mage spells right next, like in the same area. So the mage build's practically easy mode, at least as far as magic goes, because you literally go get a staff that scales S for like friggin' intelligence, I think, or close to it. It's really powerful staff, and then you go get like a friggin' spell that flings boulders in the same area. They're both in-field pickups. And then you're good for the rest of the game. Like, you can literally just spam this spell from long distance and laugh maniacally. So I'm almost wondering if I should bother. Because it's so strong, I'm tempted to go get the spell and staff and boost my intelligence. That's how no nonsense that build is. So, combat wise, strength and dex are valid, really. Dex has an advantage of faster movement and dodge rolls, but strength seems to have some serious poise busting weapons under its belt that could really lead to enemies getting stun locked by you. Several bosses can be rendered into vulnerable states. So, yeah. By the way, little side note, most powerful execution or criticals seem to be swords. Even with stronger weapons, I've noticed that blunt weapons and even the axe don't seem to have nearly as powerful an execution as a sword. So you may want to stick with swords if you are knocking enemies into vulnerable states and doing that. I don't know if the spears are still high end on that too. Spears used to be really powerful critical and execution weapons, but I just know for a fact that the sword is up there. Most powerful method of melee combat, I guess I should at least cover that real quick. Nothing in the world competes with the jumping attack, especially against the humanoid opponents, especially the invaders that are like scripted NPC invaders. Good old jumping, let's put a weapon in our hand. A good old jumping R2 for Xbox or whatever the power swing is, hits really hard, tends to stun almost every time, knocks a lot of poise off. We'll give you an example real quick. I know the video is running on, but for people that are still there, you're trying to get everything you can out of this game. This really high tier enemy you're not supposed to be fucking with, but jumping swing, interrupt. Dodge, he can one-shot me if he hits me, so gotta be careful. Jumping swing, now he's been hit enough that he's vulnerable. Boom. I could have just did another jumping swing and he also would have been vulnerable. If you're wondering what that is, I'm wearing an item that refills my magic when I execute. There is also one early on that you can get released that does health, but for me, remember, I am a faith build, which means I have healing magic. So barring being in a big battle, I want to refill my magic because my magic is the resource that is the hardest to refill and also serves as healing. So this is an insanely hard item to get. It was from that boss dungeon I just told you about where the second assassin is. It's very tough. But if you get it, you got to kill the really tough assassin fight. You have a humanoid assistant you can get there. Tough undead on the way there. But once the humanoid gets his attention, you can Dragon Claw or Dragonflame. That's how I killed him. And this item will allow you to get from your criticals that. Really useful because, again, I can run up and try to stagger an enemy to get them vulnerable and then get a critical, and I'm refilling my magic. And I mean, that's always desirable. You're not going to, the free magic refills are beyond competition, especially because I could have literally done this. I could have done the incredibly hilarious combination of, oh, wait, I didn't say. Well, I could have done the Beast Sling combo. You saw when I hit him with Beast Sling, I knocked his poise down. I could have went Beast Sling, Beast Sling, Beast Sling, then executed him and got my magic back. So, nasty combo item. But there you go, people. Have yourselves a good time. If you have questions, send it out. I've tried out every spell that you can see. I'll show you on this list. So if you're curious about any of them, I can tell you what I like and didn't like about it. Like I said, Flame Sling quickly gets replaced once you get other spells, but it has its uses. But these are arcane that I got in the field. Urgent Heal is a faster heal spell, but it heals less. Honestly, it's not that much faster. Like, honestly, I'd kind of just rather go for that to heal more than have to cast this twice. So there you go. And if your summon's nearby, it'll heal it. Cure Poison has its purposes. If you know there's going to be poison around, you'll want to do it. O-Flame is the upgrade to Catch Flame. You retired Catch Flame a long time ago, so why the heck are you bothering with this? If it's vulnerable to fire, then use Flame Sling or Dragon Breath. And like I said, it actually costs more FP, but doesn't do that much more damage. Like, it hits about as hard as the Rock Sling, the Bestial Sling, which is really a cheap spell. This is a flamethrower that will lock an enemy in position, but does very low damage. It's probably going to see a use mainly only in that since it kind of stun locks, even though its damage is crap. It could be very nasty in multiplayer if it can stun lock your enemies, because then it could possibly be used to stun lock somebody while the other player executes the snot out of them. Haven't even tried this. I think it's just an area flame spell, but again, you've got such good. I don't see how this could possibly be as better than it's much cheaper, like literally like less than half the cost. Sling, unless its damage is shockingly high. And then poison armament. The key to these spells that buff your weapons, the oils and armament, is that they're only. Oh wait, the bestial vitality gives you health regen. It lasts a really long time and it's cheap, and you get it for your third Deathroot, I believe. And it's actually useful. Like, it'll counter poison damage, not quite fully counter bleed, but what I found is that when I cast this spell, it lasts so long. I'll cast it when I'm kind of low on health or when I'm almost out of magic and only have enough for it. And then I'll walk around and it's healing me, and then I'll notice it's just healing me so long that it ends up getting a lot of use. In a game this lethal, it's not going to always be noticeable, but if you've got the mana and you don't have anything else you want to cast, toss it. And like I said, it'll hold its own against poison. Like, it's almost a battle between, do you want to cast Cure Poison, or if you're getting poisoned repeatedly, do you just want to cast Beast Vitality and not worry about it? But like I said, armament spells have a use flaw. They only work on weapons that don't already have an alternate damage or effect on them, and a lot of weapons have that. So, like, it won't work on my weapon with an Ash of War on it, my sacred weapon. It won't work on, say, like, this frost weapon. You know, it won't work on this crystal sword. You know, it's not going to work on anything that's already doing another type of damage. It basically only works on base weapons. You're rarely going to have base weapons left leveled up, and poison builds damage super crappy slow. Like, it's not really good. Like, blood is way better, bleed, because bleed will suddenly cause a huge explosion of extra damage when it builds up. Hence the reason I am wielding the Morning Star instead of my sword I wielded for so long, because it also does blood loss build up, and when it does the big blast of blood damage, it's a big chunk of extra damage, making it a really useful effect. Not as deadly maybe as like freezing the enemy or something, which can lead to an execution or something, but there's no weapon that I can put my sacred damage on that also does freeze. Like, I can't put an Ash of War on this axe for the same reason. And I haven't found a Frost Ash of War. If I did, it'll probably be magic scaling, unfortunately. So, I mean, what's great about this weapon is it's a rare weapon that doesn't scale off of magic, but if you notice, its overall scaling does kind of suck. But this is a warrior's weapon. So, anyway, there you go. There's a lot of intelligence scaling weapons, dude. If you're a wizard, it's a good life. And if you're a magic knight, it's a real good life, because there are a lot of weapons you'll find that just innately do that. Now, I found one weapon that has innate holy on it, but honestly, that means it doesn't have the frigging ability to have an Ash of War and get my favorite effect, the Sacred Blade effect. And on top of that, its strength requirement says this is a pally build. This is for a guy that's running, and worst of all, it's got a dex requirement despite having bad dex scaling. So, don't know if that'll get your goat going, but the damage is incredible. This is a weapon you get out of the base that does pure holy. It scales purely off of faith. It's a punch weapon. It's very fast. But if you notice, its damage is still vastly lower. Well, I have upgraded my other weapon, but its damage at first is lower than the other weapon. Because even though my sword and Morningstar scale off of strength and dex also, and it's a D versus the C of this weapon, the whole other 85 damage from the other item clearly makes up the difference, because even when my weapon was level 1, it was like an 80-80 weapon. The 80 physical, 80 holy with like an extra 20 on the holy. So it still trumped this weapon. Now maybe because this weapon would eventually scale to acquire a higher faith scaling, maybe the damage bonus could get so high this weapon could be competitive. But again, it's a fist weapon with a short range. I don't know if Unblockable Blade's any good, but I don't really see the purpose of it compared to hitting them with the ranged attack and getting the damage buff. So Sacred Blade just maintains an absolute top status on damage output. You're just not going to see anything that's going to be better than getting a good weapon that's got room for an Ash of War, and that, especially when you're fighting skeletons, because I don't think this perma-kills skeletons. I think you really got to have a magic effect that's making the weapon a full spell effect. All right then. Anyway, right, we had fun talking with you. Again, you got questions about those spells, come at me. I'll come back when I get to higher tier and do a comparison of what's the most powerful spell. I don't know if the Godslayer spells are in the game yet. There are a whole group of incantations I do not know that are sold by D, a other Tarnished who's at the table of the Lost Grace, he shows up there after you beat the Boatman. They're intelligence and faith hybrid spells, and the Prophet starts with intelligence of 7. So, especially if their damage is based off of intelligence, these spells should theoretically underperform in my hands, which is why I haven't bothered even to bother boosting my intelligence, because my assumption would be that these incantations would underperform. They have very high intelligence requirements. Though here's one that does something similar to Sacred Blade, probably has a longer duration because it's a pure buff, meaning it would probably be a decent spell if you had the intelligence. Make it an intelligence faith build, once again, probably pretty good. And this one deals raw holy damage, but wow, look at that intelligence requirement. Again, intelligence faith hybrid item. I'm curious. I may play with this when I build my wizard, because I want my wizard to be diverse. And if I'm building mages, building a Mystic Thirds, for those D&D fans, who cast arcane and holy spells, is an interesting concept. Even though the arcane spells seem so strong that the only real reason I had the faith spells would be for the healing. But still, hey, why not? You're going to kill the enemies that have the Deathroots. You're going to get access to this stuff anyway, because it's just part of doing quests. Why not be a full-out caster? Because I'm not going to do a strength mage, so I might do it in a intelligence faith hybrid. So I have something to kill the undead with and to play around with these. So we'll look at the Mystic Thirds build as our second playthrough. All right, folks, you have a great evening. I know I've said it a few times, but, well, the game's really good. So we're constantly going in and finding more things to talk about. Please inquire if you want to know about a particular fight that was challenging. There's a fight in here that's really hard. Fighting human opponents was the hardest thing with the Pure Faith build until I figured out some tricks, which I can point out to you that worked really well. And I'll go hint, hint, Dragonflame from a long range, followed by jumping attacks, is probably 90% of what finally did it. Or them foolishly rolling at me and catching that Dragonflame face hit that just did the deed. But you got a fight that's giving you trouble. I fought most of the bosses on the map that are available. I can point you at it. Last thing, remember, the absolute best summons that you can buy in a shop here is the wolf summons. I literally use it exclusively until I, in one of the high-level areas, unlock the special summons, the headless guy, which I gotta admit, I don't know how he does on damage, but he is incredibly tanky, so he won't die on you. I've only had him die once, and I think that was in one of the really, really hard boss fights with the 2 guardian dog things. And then I think he's been killed by one of the high-tier dragon on the bridge. Other than that, practically an unkillable guy, but you will need to put into your mind, because he cost 104 to summon. Other than that, though, the wolves hold it down, man. They are just unmatched badass and very low cost. They're 44. They're so good for what they are that you definitely need to buy the wolves and then work with them. They'll hold you. I literally just recently stopped using the wolves in my level 40s. That's mileage. So, all right, folks. Y'all have a good one. Again, got questions, swing them out.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you found the content helpful. If you did so, please hit the thumbs up as it helps spread the channel for other viewers. As always, you can watch Dicejunkies live on Twitch at 3:30 Central Standard Time on Sundays. We also stream gaming content on Twitch throughout the week, so be sure to subscribe there as well. If you can, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're up to date on all the Dicejunkies content. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. They fucked my tomatoes up!